Good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining us today on day 20 on fasting for wrong thoughts and wrong foods. My name is Ferguson-Lewis. Today's topic is stop eating yourself to death. Please take a moment right now and share this with your friends and your family. I promise you we're going to have some exciting information to talk about this morning. Hello everybody, welcome to Facebook Live. My beautiful wife Rhonda is once again has placed me in your presence to go over some things that are near and dear to my heart that I want to discuss with you today. And I guarantee you it will be life-changing if in fact you are open and ready for change in your life, because that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about fasting, truly fasting, giving our bodies an opportunity to heal itself. Okay? So anyway, like I said, today's topic is stop eating yourself to death. Now I'm going to say something here, and I want you to please listen to me and have an open heart and mind and ears to hear what I'm about to say, because I in no way mean this in a disrespectful manner, but just to kind of make a point. Last week, we had a very horrific tragedy down in Parkland, Florida, my home state, 50 miles from where I grew up, down in Miami, Florida. And it was horrific. 17 people lost their lives senselessly to an individual who had access to something I believe he should not have access to. One of the things that have been warming my heart, though, because of that tragedy, are the sense of activism that the young people in that school, the surviving students, the role that they have taken in this process. They have not just sat back and felt like victims. They've decided to take an active role and to go about in this country and advocate for change. And that's what we're going to talk about today as well, is change. We have to advocate for change too. Now, I'm advocating for change by being here in front of you. But we want to go down to a micro level. What do I mean by that? I mean, I'm not asking you to advocate for change in food in this country. We're talking about down to just you. And first you, and then your family, then your church family, then your community at large. The correlation I was making between the senseless death down in Parkland and my message today is simply this. 17 people, like I said, and we all know, we've heard time and time again each day that they have lost their lives senselessly because of gun violence. And while we're upset at that, and we rightly should be, we're losing about 1,700 people every day in this country to heart disease. Now, I know they're not the same, but one of the things I want to bring to your attention is being desensitized to it. See, we had become desensitized to these shootings because they've been happening over and over again, and we hear about it for a few days and we get upset and we go on our merry ways until it gets close to us. We cannot be desensitized to this. The Bible tells us, right, not to be fooled by the wiles of the enemy. One of the ways I believe that we have become desensitized is because they can continue to put it in our face, right? Now these young folks, they look at violent videos now. For this whole generation have grown up watching violent videos. So in some cases, there's not a connection between real life. See, there's no restart button with this life. Now we all have hope and faith in heaven after we leave here, but right now all we have is this very moment that God has given us, right, to express His love here in this earth's place. So just like those young folks are taking a stance, it's time for us to take a stance and not be so desensitized to the death and carnage that is resulting from the foods that we're eating. Now, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I don't even care if I do. Because you know what? Faith comes by hearing. So because faith comes by hearing, we have to continue to hear the message. Starting on March 5th, me and my wife Rhonda, we're going to lead a 5-day detox. And I want you to start getting prepared and prepared in your mind for that. Now, I know over the last, I think the first time that we did a quote unquote Daniel fast in our church probably 20 years ago. It was the first, and I think it was no meats, no sweets, or no pleasurable foods, right? I think we did it for 40 days. But we could eat after sundown, I think it was 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or whatever it was. But on this fast, we're going to challenge you to do something a little bit different. In order for our bodies to detox, we have to wean it off of all of the chemicals, highly processed foods that we have become addicted to. If we do that, right, our bodies will actually rejuvenate itself, and it will actually heal itself, because it is a miraculous creation that God has placed us in charge of. But we have to take full responsibility for it. So doing this 5-day fast, matter of fact, these days leading up to March 5th, I'm going to be coming to you. I think my wife shared with me that I need to, 3 days a week to share the principles of detoxing. I'm going to break down the effect that certain foods have on our bodies, because we're not to be ignorant of the devices that are being used against us. So I'm going to bring forth some information, life-changing information. Some of you may know it and many of you don't know it. I have these discussions with anybody every day, whoever will listen. So I'm having it with you at this moment. And for the next few days, I'm going to be sharing it with you. You know, a few years ago, I went to see a doctor. I thought I was having a heart attack. The little short lady put her hands on my knee and looked me dead in the face. She said, "Mr. Lewis, you're 50, I forget how old I was at the time, 50-something. She said, you're a black man. You have elevated cholesterol, high blood pressure." And she stopped and just looked in my eyes, as if to say, you're playing with a loaded weapon. Or I don't know what state you're in physically, but you have a responsibility to take dominion over this beautiful body that God has graced you with. When she did that, it shocked me. We made appointments to our doctors. We started taking a look at our cholesterol levels, our blood pressure levels, and all of those things, and vowed to come off medication. But we had to start by detoxing our bodies away from all the things that we have become so accustomed, and so have you, because the standard American diet is what we all consume, most of us. But we can eat healthy, enjoyable meals and food that will benefit us and not hurt us. You know, another person that after the doctor told me that, I went into research mode. I love information, and I'm a teacher, and I love to teach. In order to get that information, I went online, the same thing you can do. And I found this 80-something-year-old black man that was expressing some of the miraculous things that he had experienced by taking himself off of the standard American diet and learning what to put in his body properly. And he started with a fast. And he gave his body a chance to detox and purify itself and purge itself from all the toxins that he was walking around with and that you're walking around with, because if you're eating a processed, sugary, salt, fat-laden diet called the standard American diet. If you're eating packaged foods, guess what? That's what you're eating. If you're not eating live foods, you're not eating herbs, you're not eating organic fruits and vegetables, right? Because even the regular standard fruit and vegetables are loaded with chemicals and pesticides. If you're not doing that, then you're doing your body a disservice. And in doing your body a disservice, you're doing God a disservice, because he's entrusted you with it. Now, when we walk around in ignorance, then we don't know. But now, guess what? You know it, you're going to be responsible. Just like we're all responsible. But So that started our journey. So I did my first 10-day fast. The first 3 or 4 days were kind of difficult. As a matter of fact, on the 5th day, I thought I was about to have a stroke because my body was going through what they call a healing process. And so we're going to talk about this for the next few days because we have until March 5th. So we have about a week or 10 days to do this. We're going to get prepared. So when we go into this thing, we're going to do it the right way. You're going to consult with your doctor because I'm not a doctor. You're going to consult with your doctor, but you're going to consult with him with information, not as just a mere patient, but someone who is taking control of their health. And when you do that, they know it. I'm sorry, what was it?
Lady Pat.
Lady Pat. We had several students over the years, right? But we had this one, she's our poster child, I like to call her, right? A young lady by the name of Lady Pat who was severely overweight, I'll say, and had, I think, neuropathy in her feet, had not driven for 2 years. And she was on 7 or 8 medications. And she heard this message, the same one that you're hearing. And she took it to heart. And she took dominion over her health. She went and sat down with the doctor and said, listen, we have to come up with a plan to get me off all these medications. And that's what she actually did. I think the last time I spoke with her, she was on 1/2 dose of one of her medications that had been prescribed to her. After not driving for 2 years, within 4 to 5 months, she was driving the car. What are you experiencing that you're ignoring while you raise your holy hands in churches? You have a responsibility to take care of the temple that God has entrusted you with. So get prepared to join us on March 5th. And like I said, for the next few days, I'm going to start laying out some information so that we can go into this fast with knowledge and power. You'll have more time, like I said, leading into to get with your doctor, to let him know or her know what you're endeavoring to do, so that you can be all that God has called you to be in this earth. Thank you so much for joining us on this 20th day of February. Can you believe it's already been 20 days? We have 8 more to go, and then we're going to start on March 5th. To God be the glory on this wonderful Tuesday morning. You guys go forth and share this with other folks that you love and care for. And they'll be all the better for it. I love you with God's love. Have a great day. Bye.